Welcome to today's edition of Sports Vibes. Today we'll be mostly focusing on a Gold Cup match that was played at the National Stadium last night, which would have seen the Reggae Boyz going up against the Hondurans. Generally speaking, it was a good game. It was a game that was evenly contested throughout. You know, I must say that Jamaicans are able to say today that they would have gotten their money's worth last night. It wasn't a case where spectators were just there in the stadium and just waiting for the final whistle to go. I must say the game was exciting, not only on field, but we also saw some tactical battles and some tactical decisions being made or being done by the coaching staff of both teams. But if we want to probably give the edge to the team that would have imposed their style most, then we probably would have to give it to the Jamaicans, because we actually saw where they were able to comfortably play out the ball from the back, transition throughout the different parts of the field. So I must say that the Jamaicans were well prepared last night. The team was well organized as it relates to persons knowing their positions, knowing their roles, knowing what is expected of them. And I must say the future actually looks bright. The future is looking bright as it relates to our footballers. We actually saw some young talents in the squad last night. A couple of them weren't able to play, but they are actually in and around the national setup, so that would have been experience gained. One of the most exciting things that Jamaicans would have gone out for last night, as you all know, Leon Bailey would have made his debut last night for the national team. And I must say, it was exciting time last night. It was an exciting time last night, because knowing Leon Bailey and all the skills and all the pace that he possesses, we were in for a treat last night. He wasn't actually on the scoring sheet, but he was very influential throughout the game. We saw where the first two goals, he would have been involved in the build-up leading up towards those two goals. So the future is looking bright, as I said before. And I must say that from a general point of view, the team looked as if they were in shape. They look prepared. They look as if they are actually going for this Gold Cup title. So it was looking good. We saw in the first half where Michael Hector was able to keep or to hold the midfield together. He was the person that was there breaking up the tackles and trying to play out the ball and all of that. So persons knew their roles last night, and they were able to execute well. As it relates to the score now, where we saw 3-2 in favor of the Jamaicans, I must say that the scoreline didn't really reflect the game, because Jamaica really won the game comfortably in the end. As it relates to conceding those two goals, I must say that it really seemed to have been lack of concentration as the game was coming to an end. We saw persons starting to walk instead of actually being mobile, moving, running towards the ball. We saw where the boys were becoming complacent, and as we move forward in the competition, we have to make sure that we don't have any lapse as what we saw last night. So the future is looking bright, as we said before. Last night while in the stands watching the game, I overheard spectators complaining, saying that we actually need more local players in the setup. We need more persons that are applying their trade in the country to play for the national team. But one thing I must say is that last night while the game was being played, I saw a lot of passion. I saw passionate persons playing for the country. I saw passion out on the field last night. So whether persons are playing their trade in Jamaica, in USA, wherever they are playing their trade, once they are Jamaican, and they decide that they want to play for the national team. Once they are able to come and put in the work and show the passion that we as Jamaicans really need to see, then the door should be open to all. The door should be open to all. You understand? I understand where the spectators are coming from, wanting to see our country or the local talents being developed. But, once a person is qualified to play for the country, whether they are playing their trade here or abroad, the door should be open for one and all. We shouldn't be trying to limit the thing like that. I mean, we have a lot of young talents coming up throughout the ranks right now in the country. We have a lot of talented players that would have played Manning Cup and Dakasta Cup and are actually in some of the clubs here in Jamaica now. But I mean, their time will come. Their time will come because take for example Tyreek McGee, who recently graduated from Jamaica College. He was very dominant throughout his playing days in Manning Cup, you know, especially his last year of Manning Cup. He was basically unplayable. He was unplayable, you know. He was way ahead of his peers, and we actually saw him in the national setup last night. He was one of the reserve. He didn't make it into the starting lineup, or he wasn't used as a substitute, but he was there. He was there, you know. And we have a lot of youngsters that are in and around the team, but their chance will come. They will get a chance to represent. Well, as it relates to building, you know, I am really happy with what I saw last night. As it relates to age, you know, majority of the players are actually in their mid 20s, so it's not a case where we saw a lot of persons coming to represent who are like 31, 32. We have players there that are 22, 23, 24, you know, that we know we can build up and we can work with moving into the future. Yeah, so the Jamaican football is looking good, and we are actually looking forward to the next game. I think we are supposed to be having a next game next week Monday, so we are really looking forward towards that game, and hopefully we'll have more support next week Monday when the boys go at it again, you know, because last night it was announced that we had about 17,000, I don't remember, 17,000 persons were in attendance last night. And I must say those 17 persons, I being included, would have gotten our money's worth. So I know that based on the performance last night, more persons will be willing to come out next week Monday to see what the boys have to offer, what the boys are actually offering, you know. So we are looking good. We are looking good. You know, the team is actually looking good. The squad is looking good. So moving forward, we are actually hoping that, you know, we can keep this core of players together. You know, they are looking good. They really looked last night in fabulous form. So hopefully moving towards the future we can keep them together. And I for one think that the personnel in the sports ministry of our country, they should probably use this as an opportunity to invest some more funds in the development of football in our country. I mean, every primary school, well, majority of the primary schools and high school in Jamaica, you know, they probably have a football team, but it's not just that. It's not just having a football team and participating in competitions, because you know a lot of schools, they are not able to fund the players as it relates to having a breakfast program, having a, you know, lunch program, or helping to make sure that the children are actually wearing the correct gears as it relates to the boots being the correct size. So the personnel in the sports ministry, they should use this as an opportunity to make sure that they pay closer attention to what we can achieve from football, you know. So for the game next week Monday, we are looking forward to seeing more persons coming out. We are hoping that the parents will bring out the babies, you know, bring out the little boys, the little girls to come and witness what is now taking place, because this can be a starting point for something great to come. So hopefully as we go on, we can improve as we go along. So we are really looking forward towards the game next week, Monday.